Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.
Before we even jump into this video, before I even say hello, I want to give a warning. This video contains spoilers. Many spoilers. If you are not completely up to date with the main book series of Outlander, I would not suggest you watch this video unless you are okay with spoilers. I cannot express that enough. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Let's jump back into the video. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee, and on this channel I cover all things true crime, travel, lifestyle, and just generalized vlogs. But today I am going to talk about my favorite subject in the whole world, and that is Outlander. Now, if you've been a follower or a subscriber of the channel for a little while now, you know that every Tuesday I bring out a new Outlander video in the hopes to help out Droughtlander for myself and for all of you guys who have now hit that subscribe button and joined in on our fun. Now, if you follow along with Outlander on all their social media platforms, you know that season 6 filming has finally wrapped, which means we are so close to getting our season 6 fix. Our 8 episode season long, I mean, that's not enough for me, but I totally understand it. My only concern is that a stepping stone for season 7 to be our final season now that it's been extended? I really hope not. But we do have that to look forward to, so I'm currently sitting through Droughtlander to get to that. But we all know that the book is coming, and with that, hopefully, some answers to our burning questions. Now, I have recently joined the newly launched Facebook group, Official Outlander Book Group. Now, this group has been designed to talk about the book and everything like that, but it has just, like, as we know, Outlander has a very big fan following, and it has turned into a free-for-all of conversations about Outlander. So while I was in the group, I popped up a question saying, what questions do you want to see answered? As you can see, there was over 500 different comments, and people were going nuts about their different questions that they wanted answered. Some of these questions I didn't even think of myself, and I have been racking my brain for, like, what's going to happen, what answers, what am I going to know, what do I want to know? And I just thought, wow, there are so many different questions that people want answered. We probably won't get, we definitely won't get them all because it's not the final book, but I wanted to go through today some of the questions that people were coming up with and want to talk about what could possibly be their answers. Now, going through all of these questions and having my own brain of what do I want to know, I know that Frank is a very highly sought after answer. We want to know what he knows, and we want to know when he knew it. I mean, Frank, he's very mysterious. I personally think he knows a lot more than what he let on at the time, and I think he's going to play a bit of a role in the next couple of books. I think we're going to learn a little bit more about the letter. He's going to diverge a lot more information, I personally believe, in the next 2 books. So that was my highlighted number 1. What does Frank know, and when did he learn it? The next thing that was popping up and was really highlighting a bit of a discussion in this thread was, do we think Claire's parents knew that they were time travelers? Now, we don't even know which one of Claire's parents was a time traveler, but one of them had to be, if we go through the sequence of it's passed on through genealogy. So one of them must have the ability to time travel. So either did they not know about it? Did they know about it and not deal with it? Did they just what? What is going on there? Now, I know that sparked a bit of controversy, this question, because people were coming back with, well, Diana has already said this, that, and this. But Diana could be leading us all down the path of, well, let's keep it a mystery. She doesn't have to reveal anything that she doesn't want to. She can throw us off course. She can say one thing and then write something completely opposite just to keep her fans and all of us intrigued. And I mean, it would be pretty sad if we all did guess every little thing that was going to happen. So if I personally was writing a story with such a magnitude and such a fan addiction to it like Outlander, I think I would throw out the odd fake news, not fake news, but I would throw out the odd sort of breadcrumb in the opposite direction so that people were going to be surprised no matter what they thought. If you checked out one of the previous videos on why Claire went through the stones, which I'll link up above here, I talked about how I personally didn't have the theory that Claire's parents, you know, they could have come from the past, or Claire could have come from the past. But once I started to deep dive into Claire's parents, I really thought about it and I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense, that Claire's parents could really bring that time travel aspect into it a bit more. Claire could most certainly be from the past. Again, I know people are going to jump on me and say, well, no, that's not what Diana said. But again, you just never know, do you? Until we have that 10th book in our hands, Diana can do whatever she wants and can change anything that she wants. And I'll be fine if she has thrown out the wrong kind of breadcrumbs. Another very highly pushed out there question was, will Claire and Master Raymond ever meet again? Now, I personally loved the character of Master Raymond, and again, I'm just gonna again spoiler warning, we know that he's a time traveler, but I just what is their exact relationship? Will he pop up in time and meet her again? Will he just, I don't know, I need him to come back. I know that Diana is again saying that there might be a book for Master Raymond and his life and a bit of a backstory, like one of the side books, but I want him in the main books. I want him there. I want him, you know, to say to Claire, okay, you travelled this date because I set this and this in motion and it brought you here. I want definitive answers about Master Raymond. I absolutely love the character. He's possibly my favourite sidekick style character for this entire series. And speaking of little side characters, will we ever get to see Mr. Willoughby again? Now, I know he does get mentioned a couple of times in the last sort of books that have been released, but will he pop up as a main sort of like he's actually there in the story instead of just being mentioned by Jamie or Claire? I know that he was sort of brought into the series to allow for the sort of the acupuncture and, you know, have a little bit of a story with Jamie, but he didn't really get a very extensive, I mean, he did get a bit of a go, but for a side character, he was in, but now he's out. And the thing is, what's he doing now he's out? Where is he? What happened to him? I'd like some answers, and I just really want to know if they will ever reconnect or re-meet up into the series. Now, we all know that Claire and Jamie are starting to get a little bit older as these books progress. I mean, everybody does. I want to know, though, what's going to happen when Claire's hair turns completely white? We know that she has been told that that is when she will have come into her full power. What is this power? Is it just going to be all about healing, and is it going to be for that sort of aspect? Is there going to be some twist into it? Is she going to be extra special and have additional powers? There's something more about that, and I believe that the timing is going to start coming into play, that her hair will almost be white by the time we get into this next book. So I feel like that's going to have to come out as an answer sooner or later, and what is sort of being brought in with that. I don't know, like her hair. But then there's also the aspect of the blue aura. Now, is her power that she's going to be able to heal much like Master Raymond and have that blue aura around her? We know that there have been mentions of the blue aura in previous books and things like that, but what is it? I mean, this is what I say. I want definitive answers on Claire's going to be old, turn white-haired, and she's going to have this magnificent healing power very similar to Master Raymond's. That's something that, you know, it has to come into play soon because of their ages and how many books we know are left. Another question that kept popping up that I completely forgot about sort of during my Droughtland a bit was, what's going to happen with the Spaniard's gold? Is it actually ever going to be found and used, or is it just going to sit there and sort of, it's like a storyline that's not going to be continued out and played to its full, and it's just sort of a background sort of noise and a background storyline? I would think that it's going to come into play at some point, but when? Now, I feel Mandy and Jem are going to be very big key players in the final two books. And I mean, I know they already are, but I think they're really going to come into their own and have their own real, just sort of how Bree and Roger came into the story and really had their own set sort of standards. I believe Mandy and Jem are going to have that for the final two books. I want to know though Mandy's powers. We know Mandy has some additional extra powers and they're going to have to come into play, I believe. What are they? What's happening? I just need to know. That's one of my big questions that I've sort of developed during Outlander is I just need to know what her additional powers are going to be and how they're going to come into play into such a short time. I mean, 2 books, a lot can happen, but it's also not a lot of time to play out what I think her potential can be and what her potential powers can be. Now, everything that I have previously mentioned were all questions that sucked me in and I personally need to know the answers to. There were so many more questions. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Without going into full discussions, what do you guys think about Jamie's ghost? Do you think that Frank knew more? When do you think he's learnt this during his timeline? What do you think about Fergus's lineage and where he's come from? Do you think that Mandy is going to be able to keep her mouth shut about the fact that she lived in the future? These are all part of the thousands of questions that people put into the thread, and I will slowly cover them all during Outlander. But what do you guys think? Do you have any answers to the questions that I've highlighted for today's video? I mean, Master Raymond has to be one of my favorites. Like I said, I absolutely loved the character of Master Raymond, and I really hope that before the series ends, he comes back into the main novels. I want him to have his own novel, but I want him to be reconnected into the main storyline. But I also think the questions about Frank are some of the ones that are desperately needed to be known. When did he learn about the past and everything that was going to happen, and what exactly does he know? That is intriguing me a lot. And even earlier on in the series, I wasn't a big fan of Frank. I felt sorry for Frank because of, you know, everything that happened. He loved Claire, he did, and then separation, blah, blah, blah. But I felt bad for Frank, and then I sort of lost interest in Frank. And now I'm back to, I need to know everything that he knows. Everything. Come on, Frank, spill your beans. Come on, Diana, please. Let him express his characteristics all throughout the next couple of books so we all know what he knows. I really hope that this Outlander series is bringing a little bit of Outlander to each and every one of you that take the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate all the comments and the likes, even the dislikes. I mean, everyone has their different variations on what they want to watch, and I just thank you so much for coming along on this Outlander adventure with me. Next week's video, I am hoping to have it fully edited and done for you guys. I am possibly meeting David Berry, our magnificent Lord John Grey, here in Sydney, Australia, and that, fingers crossed it all works out, because I am here in Victoria and at this point in time we're still under a lockdown. So hopefully next week's video will be all about me getting the chance to meet Lord John Grey, David Berry, and that will fill out next week's Outlander video, and you guys can follow along and basically jump and see everything that I have done or get to do in the time lapse of meeting him. I'm so excited. And I only know that Outlander fans will understand the excitement of this. So my friends and family are like, whatever, well, who cares? But my Outlander friends and family, you guys, you understand everything that, how that sparks some excitement. I just want to take this moment to say thank you to every single one of you who have managed to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting it. It really does help the channel grow. I cannot wait to come out with next week's Outlander video for you guys, and I hope you all will have a fantastic week. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I?